Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chats. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong life for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Wealth Coffee Chats, Finance Fridays. I'm your host, Damien Hauser from Positive Money. Well, what can I say? I can't believe it's another week gone and we're already here Friday thinking about the weekend. But also, we're in the first week of December and I can't believe we're already here and it's almost Christmas time already. So what I would like to talk about today is that have you actually achieved your goals for 2024? And what are your goals, your financial goals for 2025? So I know at the start of every year, we always think about what are going to be our goals for our personal well-being. You know, are we thinking about giving up cigarettes, giving up alcohol, maybe going for doing a bit more in fitness-wise, which is all good for our personal well-being. But what were your financial goals for 2024? And did you actually achieve them for the year? Now, obviously, with inflation, that has played a big impact for everybody and making sure that we can afford our personal well-being. But what were your goals in 2024 for financially? Now, I know that maybe some people had their fixed rates going there for quite a while, and they were actually on 1.99% or even 2.99%. Now, a few of them did go off their fixed rates. Good morning, Bunty. Hope you are well. And what actually happened is that then they actually gone to the normal variable rate. Now, not everybody did go on that variable rate is like everybody else. So what that meant is, did you actually do your homework and actually got the best rate going for you? Now, that's only one part of what has maybe the year been for you. What's other things that actually happened for that year? Now, what actually happened is that, yes, interest rates played a big impact for 2024. We did have a lot of interest rates on hold, and they have been quite high. But did you actually do your homework and making sure, did you actually have the right interest rate for you? And did you actually talk to your broker or your current lender to get that right interest rate down for you? So hopefully in your 2024 financial goals, you actually achieve that. But what has been other things in 2024 that could actually have an impact for you? Now, I know that maybe you were thinking about at the start of the year to buying your next property as an investment property. It could be your first one. Good morning, Jeffrey. Hope you are well. But what has actually happened? So you might be thinking that, did you actually save enough to actually buy that next property? Or did you actually have to have a look at maybe refinancing your current home loan to pulling out equity to buying that next property? And did you actually make that happen? Because at the end of the day, you want to make sure, can you actually afford it? And making sure that you actually have the right structure. And this comes to my next, maybe your reflection for 2024. Maybe at the end of the year or even in between of 2023, you actually got your home loan. But when you actually did your home loan, was it the right structure? And then you could be thinking about at the start of 2024, was that right structure in place for you? Or did you actually talk to your current broker about it? So, want to have you have a think about, did you actually have your goals set right for 2024? And did you actually make them happen? Now, another thing about what could happen in 2024 is that businesses that could be renting out their property and thinking that, okay, well, is it the right time or was it the right time to actually now get finance for buying that property and having it as part of your business? So, as a commercial sort of perspective, did you actually talk to your broker, your business banker, or your current lender to seeing that did you actually achieve that to buying your actual property that you're actually renting as a business and making it your own? So again, reflecting on what has happened for 2024, did you actually make the achievable goals that you wanted? But now let's think about what's going to happen in your financial goals for 2025, because it is almost Christmas time. And now it's maybe thinking about, what are we going to do for 2025? At the start of 2025, it's always going to be the reflection on, if you've got a family with maybe one child or two kids, you always have to think about your school fees. Okay, that is the most important thing with the family. Making sure that you've got the school, your children right for school and they're right for their education, which is always going to be the first part of the goal for the year. But what happens is that once that is all being completed, what are you going to do about your financial goals that you didn't do in 2024? Because maybe in 2024, you put a hold on your financial goals because the interest rates have been quite high. So what could have happened in that sort of perspective? Why did you put it on hold? Why did you think that maybe 2024 wasn't the right time to do anything about your financial goals? So you got to think about, how can I make this happen for 2025? So maybe the impact of 2025 is that maybe you saved a bit of more money in 2024 to maybe buying your first home in 2025. So that might mean that, okay, is it a good time now to get a pre-approval in place? So when maybe a few more properties are on the market, because now being close to Christmas time, then maybe people might thinking, well, why put my market when I've got no one available to do anything with it? So what that means is that we have people in place to maybe when 2025 is at the start of the year, then people put their properties on the market again. Have I actually got the pre-approval in place to buy in that property? Now, so think about what is achievable for you and what is achievable for your goals. So like I said, have you actually got a pre-approval in place? But sometimes that you might be thinking that, okay, well, I've got an owner-occupied property currently at the moment, and I want to buy my next home to live in. But that means that I've got to try and put my property on the market and sell it as well. And will I have enough time to sell my property to move into my next property? So what that means is that we have to have a think about a bridging loan. So that could be something that you can talk about in 2025 with your broker. So have a think about that and have a think about the opportunities that you might actually have available to do that. That's just one thing maybe in 2025 if you're a first home buyer, or maybe just buying your next owner-occupied property. So what's the other things that we can look at in 2025? And I actually had this conversation with a few people this week. And the things that we talked about was your credit report. When was the last time that you actually had a look at your credit report that could make an impact to getting your, maybe refinancing your home loan, maybe getting your first home loan, or just refinancing maybe a business? So when was the last time you actually looked at your credit report? So these are the things that you might want to think about in 2025. And how do we actually get your credit report to have a look at it? Now, if you actually Google it and look at 3 free credit reports, you actually can get 1 credit report per year. And this might be the actual time to do it at the start of 2025 to have a look at what is my actual credit score. Because a good credit score, being maybe the 8s, 900s, or even 1,000, can get you over the line fairly quickly. But if your credit score is maybe that 600, 500, or even less, what has happened with your credit report? Did you have maybe some late repayments or some defaults? And have they actually been paid up to date? Because at the end of the day, when you do go to a broker or go to your current lender, these are the questions that they're going to ask. How does your credit report look like? And is it a good credit report, or did you actually have defaults in the past? And have they been paid up to date? Because at that time being, if we know they're being paid up to date, we just need an explanation on knowing what has actually happened. So then we can go back to the lender for the lender to decide, is that going to be acceptable, or do we have to wait for a certain period? So knowing that your credit report is up to date can make a big impact on getting a home loan. So these are the things that you might want to think about in 2025. But knowing when the interest rates are going to be reduced, and knowing that, okay, when are these interest rates going to happen in 2025? Because the media has always a big impact on knowing that, okay, when is that going to happen? You could be talking to your broker about that, or you could be just talking to family and friends. So are you actually waiting for those interest rates to be reduced before changes in 2025? And then knowing that, okay, well, how can I get the best interest rate for me at that time when interest rates go down? And making sure that, do we actually have the right structures, knowing that you might want to pull out some equity to buying your next property or your first home, or just getting everything ready to maybe selling your current home that you're living in to buying your new home that you would like to live in. So it's making sure that you're doing your homework in 2025 and being prepared for that. Because maybe, like I said, in 2024, you wanted to know that, okay, well, it wasn't the right time for me to do anything this year. What can I do next year? And having these conversations with the right people is making sure that you are prepared for 2025. Now, other things that might be something that you might want to think about, or you might have family members to think about, is buying your first home available for you. So knowing that you actually have the right grants available in every state, because every state is all different, what can be achievable for you, and how do you actually get those grants? So maybe you need to do get your homework ready to do that, and talking to the right people on knowing that, can you actually be approved with those certain grants? Morning, Tim. Yes, being in the market ready for 2025 is always a good way to knowing, are you going to be ready? So going back into the first home loan grants, like I said, are you going to be in a good position, and knowing that, are you going to be ready for that if you wanted to buy your first home? And knowing that, do you actually have savings available to do that? So, like I said, have your goals been achieved for 2024, and knowing that it is now close to Christmas? And look, maybe people are still trying to settle their loans at the end of the year and having that good Christmas present for 2024. But if that wasn't ready for 2024, and like I said, you did put it on hold, What are your financial goals for 2025? And are you going to be ready for 2025, knowing that what you would like to do? So on that note, I hope you have a good, happy Friday. And I hope your end of the year for 2024 is going to be successful. Usually Kang will be the last Wealth Coffee Chat for 2024. But for me to be doing this for a little bit, coming in when I'm needed, I hope everyone has a merry and happy Christmas and a happy new year for 2025. And I hope your goals are going to be achievable for 2025, knowing that you are prepared and ready to either buy your first home, buy an investment property, or knowing that you wanted to sell your owner-occupied property and getting ready to buy a new home. So I hope everybody is ready for your 2025 and have a good day. Thanks.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.